summer Monday night, which means most of the wave slaves are hard at work, and they're going to be that way for the next probably about 6 hours before they get off around 9 o'clock. And then they'll get a scant hour or two to be with their family. But the wise ones have chosen to have, nutrients injected straight into their veins. That way they can maximize all their time. And the unwise will have to stop at a McHugh's on the way home. You, of course, being Shadowrunners, have an immense amount of free time, which is one of the advantages of the profession. And you find yourself doing something, otherwise relaxing or making good use or not good use of your time, when your fixer gives you a call and he says, "Hey, we've got this rush job. Jay had something stolen, and he would like it recovered. And
Okay.
if you're available, you can meet them. Here's the Matrix host where you can request access. Look for the black obelisk with the gold writing on it. It'll be painfully obvious. And beneath there will be a man. Talk to this man, and he will have all the details for you."
Okay.
Oh, so it's a meet in the Matrix.
That's right. And specifically for you, Poppy, your fixer referred to it and told you that this man will give you the quest.
Oh, awesome.
The host would, when you go to log on, requires you to make an account because the host is for the Orichalcum Age MMO. It's a high fantasy world where the forces of good, ruled by the Dragon Overlord, are in an intense life and death struggle for the fate of the Earth against the forces of evil, ruled by, the Demon Lord Overking. It's sort of this anarchist organization, right? Trying to fight against the forces of good and order.
Is it a high quality Cedar Group product by chance?
Maybe.
High quality.
Only the best. The host would ask for 2 marks in order to grant you access, because they want to tailor the experience to you to make sure that, the language settings are to your preferred local language, and that any in-game purchases you might order can be delivered to you instantly via drone, as you can win real-life swag by playing this game, such as this golden soy mead.
Wow.
Or this Dragon King plushie.
Ooh, they're so shiny.
Nice.
Razzle is gonna get in her car. She had a Matrix person tell her about this one time.
A wise decision. So let's go left to right. Describe your persona when you log in, if you so choose. Maybe where you're logging in from, because that could be important. And anything else you feel is important or relevant.
Poppy Poopepo is cruising around in her Coco taxi with some techno going on in the background. And she's probably going to jack in straight with her deck. And she's going to go ahead and log in. She's dressed as she is in the picture, which is her normal attire, which means she's going to fit in pretty well. And yeah, so what time of day is it again?
It is 3 p.m.
Doesn't matter, we're on the Matrix.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to figure out what she would have been doing during the day, and obviously should have been playing games. So, all right, so she's going to jack in and end up inside the Matrix pretty eagerly, pretty quickly, so that she can get a view of what's going on inside this place, just before things start to kick off. So she's going to roll some Matrix knowledge pretty quick, really quick. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. What's the security of this place like? And I'm also going to do a Matrix perception on it before I actually get in there.
This is a rating 8 host. You see that it is not on alert, but it is filled with icons representing personas. These various avatars are running around, mostly participating in the game. And when you first load in, you kind of see the dragon overhead, and then you get sucked down into the world, and you appear in this kind of this marble city where everything's gleaming and polished and just beautiful, and you're before this giant fountain, right, which has one of the in-game kings of old, who represents everything that was good in the world, and from his wand is shooting water, digital water, of course.
And Matrix games. Have I played this game, and how well do I know this game? I got 6 hits.
Well, it's up to you if you've played this game before. It's in a string of imitation games that are out there for this kind of genre. It's not necessarily the most popular, but it's done well in the most recent years. The big thing that they've done is the in-game purchases that you can win by accomplishing quests. So a lot of people like to do it because there's swag with having your special plushie that you won from this game, right? It shows how much more
Nice.
dedicated you are to all your friends, and who doesn't like swag?
And I'm going to roll my foundation knowledge so that I can fit in better, even though it's technically not a foundation. So she's going to do what everybody else is doing in this game so that she doesn't appear out of place. And if she sees somebody killing a monster, then she's going to kill similar monsters, and she's going to act and imitate just like everybody else so that she doesn't get variance. Because if you get variance, then things start to try and kill you.
That's hilarious. So there's a little bronze level 1 floating above your avatar. And we'll jump to the next one.
And, I'm going to hang around that kind of obelisk area, but not too close.
So Razzle is going to be coming from her. She's going to be calling in from her car. Her persona is kind of like a pop punk rock star-y looking persona. It looks a little bit like her, but it's a little bit different. And once her car has moved at least a few blocks from her house, she'll give the host the 2 marks requested.
Welcome, new user.
And she'll look, she'll make a character, some sort of ridiculous kind of pop punk looking character. If she can do that with the system.
Oh, clearly you wish to be a bard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely a bard.
You can channel the music of goodness to create notes which will slay your enemies, or slow them down, or buff your own teammates.
Yeah, it sounds perfect. And she'll do that, and then she'll head to the location.
And Net Ranger.
He is going to call Langley Tisdale, his contact who owns a car service, and we'll have him take Net Ranger over to a local Soy Bucks because they always have like the free Matrix access right there. And even though he has the medium lifestyle, he's a little paranoid right now. And he will go in there, and through AR, for the power of techno BS, he will log into this host, and he will go up to the obelisk. And he has a courier sprite in tow, which he has in this current form. It looks like a punk white rabbit. So it's got the black star around the eye, and it's got piercings, and it's wearing a little leather jacket with too many zippers. And he will have that beside him as he goes into the host, and he will allow the 2 marks.
Welcome, new user. It'll go guide you through the process of quickly creating a new character.
And just because he is, a techno that has lived in the Matrix for most of his life, and being a rather portly fellow who gets a little nerd ragey at times, he will choose the half-naked ice princess with the magic scepter and the barely there bikini that somehow counts as like level 15 armor.
It protects the most vital areas. And Crossfade.
Crossfade's avatar is a faceless gray blob in humanoid form. And when he joins the game, he's going to try and make himself an illusionist wizard, if that's an option.
Absolutely.
Great.
Your robes will be sort of shifting between different colors of gray and black as you move around. You can't quite turn invisible yet because you're only level 1, but you can make yourself dim, which makes it harder for your opponents to spot you.
Hey, that's actually a really good spell in GURPS. I don't know if you guys have played.
And so you guys are there, and you're kind of watching this obelisk when a man will load in. And he doesn't show up in the regular area where players load in. Instead, he just kind of appears there next to the quest giver. And the quest giver disappears when he loads in. He's quite tall for a human, although this is a Matrix avatar, so who knows how tall he really is. His hair is long and golden, and he has these elaborate golden robes that are intricate. They have all kinds of what do you call it when you have stitched?
Embroidered?
Yes, thank you. With cloth of gold. You can tell with the floating AROs above his head, above his Matrix avatar, that he is the max level possible for this game.
Nice.
Little bubble sort of appears around you guys, blocking off the obelisk from the rest of the game. and he sort of looks at you all. Hello. You are the team I've requested?
Yep. Razzle's gonna just smile.
Papi Pupepo claps her hands in front, drops them to the side, and said, "Heights des."
We do not look it. We are powerful warriors.
Razzle's just gonna look at you and shake her head for that one, Crossfade.
Net Ranger and his current Net Princess avatar will start speaking in Japanese. We are the team if you are the person hiring the team that we are.
But they think that I think that I know that you know.
But in like a really, really breathy female voice that there is no way in hell you guys are going to get me to try to do.
Oh, you sure? I'll give you an edge back.
We are the team. Sounding like an asthmatic today. We are the team that you hired, provided you are the one who hired the team that we clearly are.
Wow.
Take an edge back.
Oh, it hurts. Oh, God, it hurts.
7 so far.
I'm a college-educated man, for fuck's sake.
Are you?
Well, I went to food college, so it doesn't really
There we
count,
go.
I guess.
I mean, technically.
Poppy kind of like taps the scepter in her hand, and then she gives it a quick spin, and then she says, what is thou quest?
Well, I need you to recover something that was stolen. This is a very, very valuable piece of court property.
She
Okay.
starts looking around the zone.
It was stolen from us less than 12 hours ago. It was stolen exactly 10 hours, 11 minutes, and 37 seconds ago.
Naruhodo.
Okay. Seems
Through-
problematic.
Through our own work, we have ascertained a rough location for this piece of property. We would like you to go there and retrieve it.
Is it in this level, or is it in a different zone?
It is somewhere within the greater Seattle Metroplex. Specifically, it's within a district you know as Redmond.
All right. I believe that was in the initial posting. But do you have more details on the object we're retrieving for you?
And do we have to slay anyone to get it?
It is likely going to be guarded by the thieves who took it from us. I would appreciate it if you murdered them, but that's not part of the job that I'm hiring you for.
It's okay, we don't mind.
He smiles at that.
Okay, we could do that, and then we'll camp their spawn for a while to make sure that they don't come back into your zone, and that we keep them at bay.
Yes, we would appreciate that. I can't offer you a bonus for that. I can only pay you for retrieving this object. By any means you feel necessary.
And how much are you offering to pay us?
16,000 new yen. A piece, of course.
Yes, I was going to say. That was all for all of us.
Mr. GM, is it possible to establish like a private DNI communication within this host?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, then NetRanger will definitely do that once he's identified the team members, using his courier sprite to help keep an eye out so that they're not being snooped on if possible. And over DNI, whoa, we get to kill people and steal something? Oh, man. What do you think he's
We're
going to
gonna
have us
kill.
steal?
Puppy's like quote unquote people, I suppose.
Well, I mean, as long as it's not like, an AI, I won't kill them.
It's gonna
I
be a
won't.
box, and when you open the box, it's just gonna glow gold, and then we're not gonna let you look in the box. Everyone else can look in the box, but you can't.
It's very Pulp Fiction.
Shh.
Almost without warning, he'll put his hand on the back of his neck looking for a Band-Aid. Okay,
Killed Hilo.
So that's 16,000 new yen for each of us.
You buy a lot of credits with 16,000 million. Have you looked at the game shop recently?
I don't pay money when I have to download stuff. But man, that's a lot of
She
noodles.
kind of like points her scepter at you. It says, "That's money that goes to developers."
Yeah, but they're weak. They're just flesh.
You wouldn't download a Coco Taxi, would you?
I definitely would if they let me get away with it.
I don't know if I have enough bandwidth for that where I live, but I don't know. And he'll actually squint his eyes. Maybe I would.
Raz is
I'm
like, yeah,
just
I probably
kidding.
would.
I don't know how to drive. It would just take up a lot of space at my house. I don't know how to drive. ha, ha, ha.
My God. Oh my God.
So Poppy
I
Pupepo
want charisma
is
too.
on board for everything.
Excellent. And the rest
She
of
thinks
you?
Poppy Pupe perfect. That's great.
Pape Poupe, perfect. Yeah, Razzle's on board. Let's do it.
Wait, there's
Um,
something important we have to know. This thing that we're recovering, is it, and he'll gesture with his hands really wide, or is it, and he'll put his finger, his like index finger and his thumb just like a centimeter apart?
Yes, technical specifications would be helpful.
Also, I'm afraid I'm gonna need one of those limited edition plushies as part of the payment.
He smiles. That can be arranged. All right. Since you have all accepted this object, this piece of property that was stolen, and then he kind of waves his hand, and a new avatar appears. You can tell it's not a persona; it's just like a piece that's been imported. It looks like a person. It's a human. He's about his avatar anyway. The illusion here, the Matrix illusion, is about 5'6". It looks like he's about middle-aged, a bit paunchy, kind of thinning, graying hair, and a very, very strong 5 o'clock shadow with deep rings underneath his eyes.
One
Looks
of your
like a troll.
employees?
Yes, this is Michael Smith. He was stolen from one of our facilities at 10 hours, 37 minutes, and 14 seconds ago. If possible, we would like this piece of property returned alive. If not, we will accept his body.
So the priority is that your competitors don't have him.
We do not want you to kill him. If he is dead when you find him, that is a complication, but we will accept the return of his body.
Understood.
If he is still alive, we expect you to take precautions to make sure that he is returned to us in that state.
So the player you want alive, but the rest of the NPCs can go, right?
Well, we would prefer that the thieves who took our property are destroyed.
Poppy, they've poached him for another guild. We've got to get him to quit his new guild and rejoin theirs.
Well, it seems easy enough.
Wait a minute. Who was it? Orcs who kidnapped him, or goblins, or oh geez, what would a fiefdom? I'm not good with analogies. Okay.
They're called brigands, and she looks at you with those, kind of like narrowed eyes.
He will subtly shift the design on his avatar to just be slightly more than everything that Poppy's is. Like literally going for the gamer nerd, bigger boobs, bigger butt, smaller waist, bigger anime eyes. Like just slight edits just to be a little bit more extreme than Poppy's is.
Poppy starts to look kind of nervous.
Originally, there were 5 of these thieves. One of them was captured and succumbed during... Well, that's not important. The others were a troll metatype, a human, 2 humans, and an orc.
And you said, did you say they had a compatriot that had expired?
That is correct.
Are they aware of this?
Most certainly.
Is there even the slightest possibility that their friend might be alive?
He
Sorry, I'm just imagining the Johnson looking
Just
at a
filling out
photograph that he's
insertion
got
lines.
in the back of us, and the back of the photograph, it's the photograph of just a headless man. No.
What was the person's name again that we're picking up?
Michael Smith.
And Mr. Jim, was Michael Smith a human or a different metatype?
5'6", middle-aged human.
The one who we captured was an elf.
Did the this elf guy, did he oh geez, and he actually looks down for a second. Okay, did he give up any secrets with a coded cant? That means a code language.
No, unfortunately, he chose to commit suicide.
Oh, was he depressed?
I believe he was a coward and in fear of what we would do to him. But you don't need to concern yourselves with that.
So, do you know why they stole your person?
That is proprietary information.
Fair enough. You said you had a couple leads as to where you thought they might have taken him.
Yes, we can confirm he is within a 6-block area of northern Touristville. I'm sorry, northern Redmond, south of Glow City.
All right. Obviously, you have pictures, I assume.
Then he kind of waves at the avatar.
Asset retention devices, are any of those still active, or do you have codes for those in case, maybe they just have them under a jammer or something?
He was tagged. We believe those are destroyed as we have not received a tag in 9 hours, 14 minutes, and 27 seconds.
Hmm.
Wait, so that leaves 1 hour and 8 minutes that the tag was active. What was the last, the actual ping location?
Touristville.
Dang it.
We were able to ascertain the location through magic.
Poppy's aware of that spell. It's one of the ones that's featured in the game. Okay.
Do you have any information about the expertise of the thieves that stole your property?
They were supported through drones. While we did not see one of them, our host for the site was compromised, and we suspect that they have at least one accomplished Matrix individual.
Okay.
So for DNI, so it sounds like we're going to be dealing with a decker, a rigger, and at least 2 more. Did they leave
should-
any astral signatures behind?
No, nothing that we have discovered.
So no suggestions of adept or mage activity on their team.
Wait, so maybe okay, like like when Dawn of Atlantis came out and everybody always wanted to roll the same warrior with the sword and board build, and everybody went to the same farming zones because they knew that if you jumped up on the one rock, only one of the Velocidinos from the mutant pools could attack you at a time. So you always knew which way they were going to attack, so everybody would just stand there and camp that waiting for the respawns. Did
No.
they do something like that where like they like were waiting on a rock for him to walk by and they
Net
grabbed him?
Ranger, please. Please.
Hey, I hit level
That
82
tactic
4 days
was
after that came out.
so old. I can't believe anybody actually fell for it.
What?
I mean, the XP that was given from that was just minuscule at best. When obviously you could go to the swamp area and exploit the water bug that would allow you to actually just immobilize the NPCs.
Well, yeah, if you want to be a cheater, maybe you would exploit a bug. But me, I don't exploit bugs. I stomp on bugs. And then his avatar will very clumsily try to stomp it. Since it's such a dainty avatar, it just looks like a little tiny toe tap.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because he. Good time.
Now, is there any other information I can provide you?
I think we're good. I think we're.
What was his friend's name, just so we know?
Who's friend?
Michael Smith?
Yeah, Michael's friend. The one who's dead, his friend.
The elf.
It wasn't Michael Smith's friend. It was one of the kidnappers.
Oh, one of the kidnappers was dead.
Oh yeah, when do you want us done? Because I got plans next weekend.
I got plans next week.
As soon as possible. We suspect that the kidnappers are going to attempt to sell either captured Mr. Smith on their own for another organization, or are going to attempt to sell him to another group.
Okay.
Ian it. So she's going to grasp her scepter again and say, "Are we ready to get going?"
Think so.
All right. I still have another quest to complete in here because I accepted one before, and you're not supposed to break the chain. So if you give me a few minutes, I'm going to complete that one, and then I can meet you in another zone, maybe the one that's near Touristville.
Sure.
Does anybody else have another mount? Because I can't fit very many people in mine.
We'll use mine. Tell me where to pick you up, and Razzle will disconnect from the game. She ain't got time for this nerd shit.
Last question. Where should we deliver your goods?
So, of course, forgive me for not bringing this up earlier. call this comm code, and then he will send it to you, and we will have a team meet you at a neutral location.
Excellent.
Then I suppose we're off. And as he says that, he will drop the avatar of a woman, and instead it will be a ninja holding a net, which he will then throw into the sky, and it turns to smoke, and it rains smoke down on him. And he'll look at Poppy and go, "Ha ha! I'm not even a woman." And then he will log out.
He's lucky he logged out, because that was going to be a lot of variance.
All the variants.
So Poppy's going to spend a moment to complete her previous quest, which was to kill all the Jacoby rabbits that were in the area, and to take their bloody pelts back to the shop and get her silver, and then she's going to mark that off of her quest list and then reboot her deck and go back towards Touristville, where she's going to meet up with Razzle.
Oh, you've got a third of a way to level 2. Get a large
I
book.
shouldn't have made a new character before doing this. All right, well, I'll have to come back and finish the game later. But think of the level I'm going to have whenever I do the other quests. See, that's the thing. See, I'm almost to level 2 now, but by the time we finish this quest, I'm going to be at least level 5. And she's going to go back out towards town and exit the portal node.
Did we get pictures of the... Did they have any pictures of the troll, orc, and 2 humans that had broken in? Or the elf?
The guy will look at... Here is what I have on file. And then he sends you a data file.
Great.
And Mr. GM, did we get the target's old comm number?
You're given a dossier. It has been heavily redacted, such that about 1/10 of it is actually visible. And it shows that it does have a comm code for him.
Could be disabled, or it could be a trap. Because
Mr.
I could
Smith,
imagine them keeping it active long enough that people could trace it down to some places. Not useful.
Well, if you can actually get me the comm link, I can do amazing things with it. And he'll actually send an emoji of jazz hands after he sends that.
Mr. Smith, he's 46. He is both a UCAS and a Seder Krupp Limited Center. He has several degrees related to matrix engineering, software engineering, matrix security. He also has a doctorate in that field as well, including a cyberdeck design.
Ooh.
His file notes that he is extremely weird, although none of this seems to be combat wear so far as you can tell.
What? No Trogdor arm.
Other than a data jack, he does not have any visible wear. In the picture or the display that you saw earlier, it notes his purchasing habits, so you can tell that he prefers vanilla soy calves. It shows the various trids that he prefers. He has a preference for red flannel plaid and dislikes green flannel plaid.
Oh, this heathen. No, I'm gonna go fight him.
He accepted the limited sin after college and was given a full scholarship to his college through Seder Krupp, who sponsored his research. The last several years, he had been working for a subsidiary of theirs, which is the Black Dog Institute.
Okay.
They were a think tank that was acquired by Seder Krupp just after the second crash. He is married, and he has one daughter. Both of their names are redacted. They do note that there is a corporate safe word so that you can identify yourself to this individual.
All right.
And
What is
that
it?
word is...
It is actually a phrase, and it's the collective theory of summer institutions. Those of
You know how
who-
this is gonna end? Something, something, summer. Punch him out. Throw him over our shoulder. Got it.
you guys would know that from a security perspective, they would choose something really weird that could never come up in common conversation. So it's never said accidentally, right?
Is that the
so
actual
he's-
safe word?
So he's never actually in the like in a soy box, and somebody's like, "I'll have a double mocha cappuccino," and he pulls out a gun and jumps out a window.
Exactly.
It's a good thing I can whisper in people's ears From,
so can
like 20 feet away.
I can't do that.
You are doing it from thousands of miles away, though. IRL. That's pretty impressive.
That is true. This is technically international whispering right now.
Oh fuck.
the image you have of the troll just shows a pretty large troll with very prominent horns. He has more than two. He has a whole bunch on his head like a crown. And popping through his armor is more little spikes of the keratin. In the picture, he's holding some kind of a minigun and has a giant backpack attached to him. The orc, you can see the gleam of cyber limbs on the orc. And then they have various drones that are captured on footage. When they fled in a bulldog. The bulldog is up armored by their suspicion because they shot it a number of times. And they note that it also had drone wrecks as a drone was released from it. And they have some pictures of the various drones. They look like heavily modified rotodrones.
Okay.
The bulldog
Yes,
itself,
sorry.
the bulldog itself had some kind of electrochrome as they caught footage of it changing its color. The drones themselves look rather cobbled together. Oh, and NetRanger, you would recognize that they look almost cannibalized. You know, like they're drones that have been shot and then repaired, or maybe he's taken several different rotodrones from different companies and put them together.
Got it.
They don't have like the gleam of a new drone or one that's been, polished and maintained.
Like when you're restoring a car, but you haven't quite finished the seams, so like the door just doesn't sit exactly like it would if it was stock and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, you can tell from the brief video they give you. One of them lists pretty hard to the left, and it has to do with something in the rotors that's loose, so it doesn't fly in a perfectly straight line.
So Poppy Pipo's Coco Taxi is going to pull up. It's all white with pink lines and stripes. It's going to open the door, and there's like this blue glowing light coming out of it. She has what looks like a vintage game console in her hands, and she looks exactly like she did when she was in the game.
Well, NetRanger is just waiting for Razzle to come pick him up, and while he does so, he is happily destroying his third double mocha white chocolate whippy frap from the Soy Bucks.
Wow, I'm surprised he drinks those instead of just Mountain Dew and Doritos, like liquid Doritos.
Hey. He is Japanese. He pounds ramen noodles and... Okay, that's all I know about Japan. Sorry, apologies. But since he's into Soy Bucks, that's the thing that has the most sugar in it, so of course that is what he's going to go for.
Razzle will pick you up, and she'll just look at you,
Yeah, when he sees
shake her head.
he'll actually give the nod, and he'll walk by conspiratorially over to like the little condiments bar where you can put your fake sugar sweeteners in your drink, and he'll lean over, and he'll say, "The Ice Princess is actually a ranger," and he'll give a big obvious wink.
She's gonna look at you and go like, "Nah, I know Calfrey Rangers. They'd kill you dead."
Cow-free rangers. Rednecks and trucks, that's all they were.
Rednecks and trucks with big guns.
After giving a dramatic roll of his eyes, he'll say, "So, are you the driver?"
For now, we'll see. We'll see if that continues.
Will your cup holder hold this? Because this is the 44-ounce double mocha's frappasoy. Most cup holders aren't sized enough to do it. They'll only hold up to a 32-ounce cup.
Yes, it will. She has a hauler, so yeah, it will. She's got
nice.
She's got the hauler. She's got it's like a Mercedes Sprinter.
Well, when you do go back to his car, since those are raised up a little bit, the bulk of this man will take a minute to heave himself up to the running boards, and once he finally gets to plop he'll happily sit in the back because he's used to being in VR. But once he sits down, he'll take a little handkerchief out of his pocket and he'll start blotting his forehead. Go, whew! I didn't know this job would be so physical.
Getting vapors.
This New Year better be worth it. Oh.
Worthington, I had mentioned I rebooted my deck when I left the game. So
Yes, you did.
okay.
Razzle will take the team up to after she gathers everyone up to that area in Redmond. Well, we'll go to Torresville. We'll start by parking in Torresville and going from there.
All right, so you head out to Touristville. It'll take you maybe, because you guys are a little bit spread out, it takes you maybe an hour to drive around Seattle and pick everyone up. And then once you've done so, you start heading towards Touristville. It seems like there was some kind of violent attack recently, and they're doing extra vigilant checkpoints on people leaving Redmond. The people going in do not get checked at all. You're bombarded with ARs, AROs. They're all from Weapons World, and they note, we see that you are going into the Redmond Barrens. Perhaps you would like to stop at your local Weapons World and resupply on ammo or personal protection devices. We're having a special on armored jackets. Now with built-in chemical protection to help protect your skin from the acid rain. Protect your skin from bullets and chemicals. And then as you get a little closer, there's another ARO, and it says, we note that you are leaving the safety of Bellevue. Please understand that there may be delays in security coverage from Knight Errant, and you assume all risks on your own. Knight Errant will bear no responsibility for any personal injuries. That is followed by a Dockwagon advertisement. Protect yourself with the best.
And Razzle will just accept the thing.
Then you pass past the wall, which is sort of this huge cobbled together stone. On the Bellevue side, there's space. But on the Redmond side, buildings go straight up next to the wall. And there's sort of slim little alleys going in between them. And the road steadily degrades as you move further and further. You go past the line waiting to get out and into Seattle. And there's a huge horde of just sort of panhandlers, food trucks, all the sort of like desperate people who are going to come to this area to try and make a buck off the tourists. People selling little crafts out of scrap. They've taken like pieces of scrap metal and then shaped them and designed them into sculptures, which they sell to the Touristville. You see people selling T-shirts that say, "I survived a visit to Touristville."
Exactly. How much are those T-shirts, and do they come in my size?
I was going to ask that.
They only sell large and extra large, so absolutely.
Oh.
They are 10 new yen. They are not armored.
Deal.
Do they have one of those that are kind of like a baby tee that's a little bit ripped because that's quote unquote style?
Well, if you want to stop the car, when Net Ranger gets out to buy one, when you're looking, the guy will, I can modify that for you, no problem.
Hey, Mister. If I give you an extra 5 new yen, will you shoot some holes in this?
Oh, absolutely. And then he pulls out an Ares Predator 1. All right, hold on, boy, I got it. And then he kind of points it.
He will cover his ears and turn around and like crouch almost all the way on the ground.
He holds it out towards the alleyway, and then points his gun towards it, and then fires it, which is incredibly loud, and blasts a couple holes through it. And then you hear some bum in the alleyway scream in pain, and then start groaning because they got a pretty bad wound. And the guy yells at him to shut up. You're scaring my customers, asshole. Don't make me shoot you again.
If he wasn't made out of meat, it wouldn't have hurt.
Right?
You can
just food for the ghouls.
Yeah, he will happily take his T-shirt and just smilingly hold it up so Razzle can see it. It got shot in Touristville.
Razzle's just gonna facepalm. She's like, I could have done that for free.
Bullets aren't free.
I'm trying to support an independent businessman. What if he's saving up money to get cyber limbs because he wants to improve?
Yeah, I got like a whole litter of devil rats to feed.
You're saving up money for meth, aren't you?
He smiles and has no teeth.
Oh, he's probably saving up for the dentist, but he's too embarrassed to say so. Net Ranger, because he's dumb, will send over an additional 5 yen.
Oh, you looking for meth? I know someone you could talk to. You don't want to talk to Skeevy Larry down there at the corner that's selling it. That stuff's trash. You want the real good stuff. Only another 5 million, and I'll tell you where my guy is.
And then Poppy Poop leans into Net Ranger, says, "We don't have time for these side quests."
You're right, the quest giver. I almost forgot. I was so excited. Look at my T-shirt. It has bullet holes in it from bullets.
From bullet.
Does the T-shirt vendor have a comm link?
Yes, he does.
Okay, I just want to do the Emperor just to make sure that I have spotted it and I have his comm code. And sadly, even though this has been a wonderful conversation, NetRanger will, oh God, he'll put on the climbing gear and scale Mount Haller again and get back into the back seat.
Mount Hall. Mount Haller.
And Poppy's going to start adjusting the radio a little bit so that she can get some of that J-pop going. It's kind of like a Japanese version of synth.
You all suck. All right, so we have the general area. Does anybody have any drones? I have drones, but does anybody else have drones?
Got a little fly spy,
Yeah, that's what I got.
and she pulls it out, and it's obviously a fly spy, but it's also kind of like got a pink metal tint to it. There's all also, you know, if you want, you can slave your comms to my deck.
Iffy on that one. You've got the fly spy. I don't actually have a fly spy. I thought I did, but I don't. It must have got blowed up or something.
Sure, why not?
Okay, so we need to start looking for these guys, try to figure out where they are, who they are.
It's okay. My
and
stuff's
they're
already
gonna-
slaved. No, thank you. Thank you very much. Bye.
Did you guys have Shadow Community, by the way?
Yes, do.
I should have asked you to roll this earlier, but would you roll that for me now?
Would a spec and personalities apply?
Yeah.
That's my shadow community, by the way.
With
We're
these
all
rolls,
awful.
I can already tell what kind of night it's going to be.
Oh yeah.
Can I roll a matrix personalities to see if I've heard of this orc? Also, I did a T3 on the orc and the troll to see if I could see anybody in that crew.
Yes,
like,
and I
identify them
did
from-
a T3 on the target, Michael Smith, with 5 hits.
All right. Well, going for the team first. So far as you can tell, none of these people exist.
Classic.
Sweet.
The Michael Smith, with your T3, it notes that he is 46 years old. He's belonged to a debate club, a chess club, a matrix games club, all of which he did very well when he was in college. He has 2 doctorates and 7 bachelor's degrees, in addition to a couple of masters. They're all in either matrix related, cyber deck design, and he does have a bachelor in matrix security systems. Seems like he's a pretty smart guy. He's got a full scholarship from from Seder Krupp, and has been working for the Black Dog Institute, which is a think tank, for the last 12 years since he graduated.
So basically nothing different than the dossier that we were given by Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, that
You can
must be deeper.
you can tell that some of the details don't match, and it kind of looks to you like somebody might have edited his feed at some point, so that what is publicly available is a little bit different than what you were given.
Okay.
Okay, so a little whitewashing, not less delete the person and create a false narrative, and more just a little bit of whitewashing to just skew things.
Some of his degrees, as are identified on the public, are different from the ones your dossier indicates. Like your dossier indicated that he had a bachelor's in host design. That is not publicly shown.
Okay. Huh.
It also does not include any information about his wife or kids.
Yeah, a lot of that's hidden. I can offer to do a T6, but on the way. However, I'm not sure it's important.
I mean,
Yeah.
I could totally help you with that, and we could probably speed things up. But I mean, do you think this guy even exists enough to do that?
But Michael Smith? Well, he was probably a person before he, every new player starts as a low-level character until they get their first ranks, like usually in the first 5, and then they pick a job. So the question is, what were they as a novice character, right?
Well, you can tell he's a Seattle native.
So we know that he probably got a lot of his early experience in the local leveling zones. So he might default to some people that he knew, but I don't know. It sounds more like that these guys are rentals. Maybe he outsourced to some of those gold farmers to get him some special gear to get him out of the zone that he was in and into this new zone. And maybe he's going to try to switch guilds, like you said.
This just makes me laugh, Fish. Character years.
It seems to be offline at the moment.
Did the Johnson give any suggestion that Mr. Smith had gone willingly?
No, he suggested the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, see, a lot of these game developers don't want to admit that the players have the ability to exploit and to jump zones sometimes. So he probably wants to get this player back so that he can figure out how he jumped zones so that nobody else can do it again. And then maybe offer him some additional credit or XP to stay on as one of the GMs.